This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. All right, man, I messed up and asked you guys for your hot takes. And boy, oh boy, did I get them. I think right now, as I record this video, there are over like 200 hot takes on this thread. Y'all drop me your AFC North hot takes. I'm going to respond to them. Let's see how hot you guys are coming. First dude is Robbie, who says Browns to win the division, Raiders to make the playoffs, and the Steelers to come in the second. I know that sounds crazy, but just hear me out. Well, you ain't put nothing on there to let me know what you was saying. Yeah, I think the Raiders making the playoffs is crazy. It's crazy. Like, how would they get to the playoffs? In the AFC West? I don't know, man. I think it's likelier that the Broncos get there than the Raiders, but I guess you must be a Jimmy G fan. All right, the next hot take comes from Damo. Y'all know him from Twitter, who says Browns will win the division, 12 wins, and the Steelers finish in last place with 9. Now, I don't know when the last time the Steelers finished in last place was, but that would be something. That would be something. All right, this is a funny exchange here. John C. says Tyler Huntley playing for injured Lamar Jackson for the first 5 games. Dog Pound Derek responded, he said hot takes. That's not what happens. It happens every year, bro. Yeah, Tyler Huntley do be getting a lot of tick, man. Tyler Huntley do be getting a lot of tick. All right, let's get into Pat's hot take. Pat said Burrow battles injuries all season. The Bengals fall off, miss the playoffs at 8-9. Browns win the division 12-5. Steelers at 10-7. Ravens 9-8. Bengals 8-9. Now, it's no secret that a lot of Cincinnati success, while they've had pieces around Joe Burrow go right, but the main thing is Joe Burrow. Right. I think nobody's going to deny that. Even the most crazy Cincinnati Bengal fan is not going to deny. There's a little bit of an Andrew Luck with the Colts thing going on, where this team's really only better than they are because of Joe Burrow. And that's a credit to Joe Burrow. And that's not a discredit to the people on that roster. But if Joe Burrow cannot play consistently, or if he does miss games, I do think the Bengals struggle. Because all of a sudden, they're not able to get away with what they can get away with on offense. All of a sudden, their defense is going to have to carry the load. And while that's been a solid defense, a good enough defense when you've had a pretty good offense that can score at any time, it's not going to be enough to win you a bunch of games. So I don't think 8-9 is crazy for the Bengals if you think that Joe Burrow is going to miss significant time during the season with a lingering calf issue. Again, he's playing week 1. Nobody's saying that he's going to miss week 1. But I think the take here is that calf injury is going to linger. I think that's a fair point to make. The Ravens at 9-8, I don't think that's crazy at all. I do think the Steelers winning 10 games is a little wild. I believe it when I see it with Kenny Pickett, to be honest with you. The Browns at 12 wins, I don't think that's too crazy. But that's a hot take, an interesting hot take here. Brandon McAllister says, don't kill me for this because I am a Browns fan, but the Steelers are winning the division and Allen Robinson is having a good season. Allen Robinson. Like the Steelers winning the division, that's happened before. But come on, man. Allen Robinson. We still doing this with Allen Robinson. We still think Allen Robinson is a top wide receiver in the league. Come on, man. If you watch AFC North Talk, you already know I was early on this Allen Robinson thing. I told y'all about this Allen Robinson thing. And I don't think Allen Robinson is going to get more production than Calvin Austin. I think they're going to go to him more. So yeah, I'm out on that take, Brandon. Sorry, bro. Wow. Brandon says here the Steelers go 6-11 and fire Mike Tomlin. 6-11 and fire Mike Tomlin. Now the Steelers have never gone under 500, and they have never gone under 500 with Mike Tomlin. You know how awful, how egregious the optics would look for Pittsburgh and the NFL if Mike Tomlin, one of the most successful football coaches in NFL history, one of the most successful black football coaches in NFL history, went 6-11. And then you fired him for one under 500 season. This is something optically the NFL has struggled with for years. That would burn it to a crisp. Like, I can't imagine worse optics than firing Mike Tomlin the second he goes under 500. That would be crazy. A 2-time Super Bowl champion coach, I believe. Or at least a 1-time. Nah, 2. No, 1. Bill Cowher got the 1 with Ben. Yeah, so a Super Bowl champion coach, a coach who's never gone under 500, a coach who is respected and revered amongst his peers, goes under 500 one time and you fire him. That would not just be a stupid move, because I do believe Mike Tomlin to be a really good coach. That would be a move by the Pittsburgh Steelers that would change how everybody looks at their ownership. Nobody's doing that. The NFL wouldn't let them. The Steelers organization is not going to do it because they're not that stupid. Right? That's crazy. Logan with the hot take here says Elijah Moore finishes with more receiving yards and touchdowns than T. Higgins. I have to see if this is a crazy take. Let me look up T. Higgins Pro Football Reference real quick to see what he did last year. So T. Higgins last year had 7 touchdowns and about 1,000 yards. 2021, he had 6 touchdowns and about 1,100 yards. And in 2020, he had 6 touchdowns again. So you're saying Elijah Moore is going to get more than 7 touchdowns, basically. Let's see what Elijah has done. I don't think that's a crazy take. I don't think that's a crazy take at all, actually. I think it's a good take. Yeah, because in New York, I think he had 5, right? No, he had 5? No, 1 in New York. Okay, in New York, he had 5 receiving touchdowns in 2021. That's not crazy. That's not a crazy improvement, given that he's going to get way more targets, be more of the offense. Now, the question is, you said receiving yards and touchdowns. The receiving yards, I think that's going to be a little bit tougher to come by. But the touchdowns, I think, are achievable. I don't know if Elijah Moore is going to have like 1,200 yards this year, because that's what probably T. Higgins is going to get around. The next hot take is from Jeremy, who says Ravens will not get above 8 wins this season. Now let's go deeper into why these hot takes about the Ravens are popping up. And that's because I think, again, there are some things about them. We have seen the Todd Monken offense in Cleveland. People in Tampa Bay have seen the Todd Monken offense. A lot of interceptions in those 2 years that Todd Monken was the head coach. Now, you can blame it on Baker Mayfield and Jameis Winston, and that would be fair. Both those quarterbacks not known for not throwing interceptions, right? They're pretty much known for throwing interceptions. But they threw more of them with Todd Monken than they had ever before, right? Baker, I think he almost led the league. I think Big Ben stopped him from leading the league in interceptions that year. So I think he got saved by that. And then Jameis Winston, I don't know if 30 for 30 was the year with Todd Monken, but he still had a ton of interceptions, right? 30 of them. So it stands to be fair and critical of that Todd Monken offense. You're throwing Lamar Jackson in there, making him do things that I don't know if he's at his best with. And I think he's a fine passer in short to intermediate situations, especially with timing routes and stuff like that. But I don't know if he does well with those deep shots. And if you ask him to take more deep shots, you're kind of like expanding what's worse about him as a passer. I can see that offense going wrong, and I can see that defense going wrong. As good as they are in the interior, as good as they are at linebacker, they're not that deep at corner. They already got injury issues at corner. And they don't have a pass rush that fears anybody. Like, they're really hoping that Ojabo puts it together as a rookie. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think these takes about the Ravens are that crazy. Now, I don't think that they're going to win. They're going to be below 8 wins. I think they'll probably, like, worst case scenario, get to 9. But yeah, I don't, I'm not as high on the Ravens this year as I've been in years past. And I think there's multiple reasons why. UK Browns fans says here, Nick Chubb will have more rushing touchdowns than Kenny Pickett has passing touchdowns for the season. Nah, that's a crazy take. Kenny Pickett's going to at least have like 17 touchdowns, right? If he starts the whole year. Nick Chubb is not getting over 17 touchdowns. Just rushing touchdowns. Like, maybe if you added receiving touchdowns, it might get close. But like Nick Chubb, at best, 15 touchdowns. At worst, Kenny Pickett's probably getting 17 touchdowns. Like, a lot of dudes can, like, you can get to 17, 18 and not be a good quarterback. So I don't think that one. I don't think that one's going to happen. I think Kenny's going to get at least 19, or at least 17. Lou Cash says Deshaun Watson throws for over 4,000 yards. It's not a hot take. Joe Burrow ends up on IR at some point in the season. That's just not something you want to predict. Jalen Warren becomes running back 1 in Pittsburgh. That's not a hot take. And Zay Flowers balls out all season. I don't think none of these takes were hot. Lou, heat it up. Heat it up. Ravens 14-3. Okay. Yep, that's why this is on here. Now I remember. Ravens 14-3. Okay. Browns 12-5. Okay. Bengals 7-10. Steelers 5-12. Oh, wow. Well, none of these takes were hot until you got to the record prediction, because what is going on? All right. Yeah, I'm not even going to address what I just read right there. Bryce says Kenny Pickett is average. Najee Harris is average. TJ Watt looks better than he is. Still very good because of the system and supporting cast. Yeah, I think these are fair. I think all of these takes are fair. I think TJ Watt is a really good edge rusher, but I think he's more in the Bosa brother class than in like the Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons class. I think he's had great help, great support, and he's been able to get the most out of that. But I don't think I don't think he could do what Myles has done for the last 3 years. I don't think he could. And have the production that Myles had. I really don't. I think Myles could probably get TJ Watt's production if he was in Pittsburgh, though. Can he be an average? Yeah, I think if he's average, I think that's better than I expected of him, to be honest. And Najee Harris being average, honestly, I don't even know if he's that anymore, because like, you talk to people in Pittsburgh about Najee, they're not in love with him. Eddie says if George Pickens was on the Cardinals or Panthers, people wouldn't be rating him as highly as they do since he's on the Steelers. No, I think people would be high on George Pickens. He makes a lot of like highlightable catches, and I think that's why people are excited about him. I don't think it has anything to do with him being a Pittsburgh Steeler. All right, Steve says Kenny Pickett benched by week 6. That is most certainly a hot take. I don't see that happening, because why? Why would you bench him? Like, who does it benefit to bench Kenny Pickett at this point? It's not like you have a young guy back there. It's not like you have a roster that can make any noise in the preseason. I mean, not in the preseason, in the regular season. You're just kind of stuck with Kenny for the whole year. Like, if he stinks, then just write it out and draft somebody else next year. But there's no reason to bench him. Even if he's awful, there's really no reason to. They're not going to be good enough of a team to beat anybody in the playoffs. So PF Dog says Without Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow is ordinary. Did he have Joe Burrow? Did Joe Burrow have Jamar Chase his first year at LSU? I mean, look, we might never have to find out because he might just have Jamar Chase his whole career. But also, we got to give Joe Burrow credit. I think he beat the Browns last year without Jamar Chase. So, nah, I don't agree with this at all. He's actually done well without Jamar Chase when Jamar Chase got hurt last year. So, nope, I disagree. But thank you for that. Y'all have a great time and have an even better